This is your news for March the 7th, 2022, and boy, do we have a lot on tap here. I'm going to try to keep things moving along, and I'll leave a link inside the description down below, so that way you can take a look at these news articles later on. Let's start out with Findaway Voices. There's two pieces of news from Findaway Voices. There is a partner update. It's actually rolled out mid-February. I wasn't aware of. Barnes & Noble now has a seamless audiobook experience. Previously, what would happen is if somebody wanted an audiobook version of your book, they had to kind of search for that. Well, now they have merged those products together on the same page, and people can order directly from their Nook the audiobook of their choice. So having that put in there removed a lot of friction and really allows a lot more readers the opportunity to discover your audiobooks and consume those audiobooks. Alrighty, next item up is still Findaway Voices. They just launched Marketplace this past week. If you're not familiar with it, essentially before Marketplace, Findaway Voices actually acted as an intermediary, if you will, to where they had a group and a pool of narrators and voiceover talent, and then there was the rights holders, and they just played matchmaker for them in between. And this left a lot of people kind of scratching their head. But I go over to ACX and they allow me to choose from a marketplace that I can put up my audiobook and take auditions from each one of those. Well, Findaway Voices finally did it. They pulled the trigger this past week and they want to reward you for that. So if you happen to use Marketplace, you actually stand to gain quite a bit here from this. In fact, you can win a full-page New York Times ad, and you can also win a New York Times Square billboard. What? I was just in New York this past year, beginning of December, and it was absolutely mind-blowing to see these billboards. Your audiobook could go up there in Times Square? Get out. That is absolutely insane. If I had an audiobook right now, I'd probably be going for Marketplace. That is absolutely stellar. So, folks, make sure that you take advantage of that. Findaway Voices has all that information. This is all in celebration of June Audiobook Month in 2022. All right, next item up in the news actually comes from eBook fairs. I've talked about them time and again over the past few weeks, but I'm going to say it again here. It's fair to say they are excited because they have the 5th official Roundup book fair, where they put to work a mix of some of the best books in the fair by the hungriest authors. These books will give you a chance to get a feel for something new, which is what the books that the authors represent. As always, this official Roundup fair is for every genre and every story. Make sure that if you want to be part of it, you got to go over to eBook Fairs today. That is over at dalelinks.com/ebookfairs. That is an affiliate link, so if you happen to use it, there's a little bit of a kickback to me, but I'll tell you, it will not change the fact that I do like what they're doing. All right, moving on over. Okay, come on now, Dale. I thought for sure I actually had this, I had this translated, but I do not have it translated. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to awkwardly bring this back up to my head here. Recently, there were some editorial trends that were brought up inside 2021, and what can we anticipate going into 2022? This was an article that was curated by StreetLib. I talk about StreetLib. They're a self-publishing service, an aggregate publisher. But in any event, you'll definitely need to make sure that you have your... there we go. Now it's going to go ahead and do it. So it should always translate Spanish. There we go. Okay. So in this, they go in depth. They go nerd level on this type stuff about a lot of the trends that they saw going into 2021 and what can we expect going into 2022. It's pretty crazy. Spain, sales increased between 20% and 25% in 2021, which is positioned as the best year for the sector since 2013. United Kingdom, the figures for 2021 have been the highest in a decade. 212 million books in print sold in 1 year. The growth is 5% compared to 2020 and 20% compared to 2019. Germany, sales increased by 3.2% compared to 2020 and 9.4% compared to 2019. France, sales grew by 20.4% compared to 2020 and 24.3% compared to 2019. And lastly, USA, the book market grew by 9% compared to 2020. According to BookScan, the volume of printed books was the highest since 2004, the date the company began measuring this indicator, exceeding 800 million copies and units. What? That Dale's confused look on his face. Hang on a second. If you don't have print right now, do you need more information? Do you need another reason to actually have print books? If you're only publishing ebooks, stop just doing that. Go for print books. It just requires a little bit more work, but it's so much more worth it. The audience is buying it still. A lot of people thought ebooks were going to come over and just replace print books, but everybody's proven that we're all material creatures. We like to actually have and hold and possess a book and hold it in our hands and read it that way. Yes, there are e-readers out there. I'm definitely one of them, but don't miss out on print books. And I don't care what expert tells you that in your genre, they don't buy much print books. Well, you be the exception to the rule. So off my soapbox, off my rant, we're going to move over to a news item from PublishDrive. What is the typical royalty rate for an author in 2022? Now, this is a very insightful piece right here. I like this one, and this is stuff I sink my teeth into. They talked about comparisons in traditional publishing and self-publishing. Now, PublishDrive is a very reputable source, so they're not just going to be throwing random figures here. But all that to say this, they've showed all the pros and cons here. Get out of here. Give me that pop-up. Royalties. This is where it's very interesting. And let me just zoom in on this one area here. For traditional publishing, most authors are going to see 5 to 8% royalties for each copy. Hardcover, it's 15% royalties. Ebook, it's 20 to 25%. Now let's just look over at self-publishing. Need I say more? Every number over here is larger, even the smaller number of 55% for prints on Barnes & Noble, or 45% if below a specific item. Although I don't think that Kobo does that. I thought for sure it's always 70% flat, but I could be completely off. I might be misremembering. So this kind of goes, and let's break down like the numbers. The book retail price could be $14.99. For a trad pub, they're going to get 10% of that. Self-published authors are going to get about 60% of that. That means the income for the trad pub authors of $1.79, and for the self-published author, it's $5.74. The same number of units being sold, 6,000 units. Let's just say as just a rough number. Earnings for that's going to be $10,000, whereas in self-publishing, it's $34,000. So if you have been sitting here kicking tires about self-publishing, stop. Just get on the bandwagon, join us, because there's no better time than ever to become a self-published author. And when TradPub comes along, you'll be ready to rock and roll, and you can make an informed decision like, you know what, I did the self-publishing thing. Your deal sounds better. I'm going to go with that. Or you can say, you know what, I'm doing better without you. So those are things to kind of weigh in on. Big shout out to PublishDrive for that nice little piece there. Very informative. Let's move over to the next item in the news. This actually is coming from Kobo Writing Life, actually highlighted a piece most recently, and it's about romance trends. If you're a romance writer, this is a piece that you're going to definitely want to take a look at. According to Booknet Canada, romance is selling better than ever. There was a 65% increase in romance print books. I said it. If you're a romance coach out there telling people you shouldn't be putting it in print books, stop. And that's between May and June of 2021. And a 44% year-over-year increase in June of 2021. That's crazy. It's nuts. They also go and they highlight a few other things, such as romance is our top-selling genre for audiobooks in all regions. When we sell audio, library readers are drawn to contemporary and historical romance as well as romantic suspense, and subscription readers love romance box sets. These are binge readers who love romance in all subgenres and don't want anything to come between them and their books. Great information. Let's move it on forward here. I think this one is based actually on GeniusLinks. I am a huge fan of GeniusLink. This is one of the best ways to provide a universal link for your books. Yes, you can go get something free like Books to Read, or you can use Story Origin to get their universal book links. But one of the things that you miss out on is having a universal book link that could provide more avenues, say beyond Amazon, and take advantage of other products on the Amazon platform or beyond. So GeniusLink's fantastic. Huge fan of it. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description down below. It's dalelinks.com/GeniusLink. Get yourself set up with that one. I think there's like a 2-week trial. I could be 100% wrong. I'm not really sure. But at any rate, Kobo, the Kobo affiliate program, plus commission rates, plus GeniusLinks, they are now officially working together in tandem. I will say, full disclosure here, trying to get into Kobo's affiliate program is a little frustrating. I got approved in a couple areas, and a couple areas I wasn't approved. Not really sure what the hang up is, but now I've got more reason to go in and actually get myself fully approved since I already have GeniusLink. All right, this one right here is the biggest news when it comes to authors and such like that. And you're probably saying, Dale, this is a show on self-publishing, but I think it's important for us to just stop and reflect on some stuff, including, everybody knows this name, Britney Spears secures a $15 million publishing deal, which is absolutely crazy. $15 million advance. And now this is even bigger than, say, Barack Obama or Michelle Obama. And it's even been compared to Bill Clinton's highest paid memoir. She's ahead of Hillary Clinton, Bruce Springsteen, Amy Schumer, Keith Richards, Margaret Thatcher, and Pope John Paul II. Wow. But there's going to be a piece of news coming up here in just a second where another author said, "Hold my beer." And it's just amazing the results that this person got. Moving further forward, let's see here. I believe this comes from the fine folks over at Fictionary. Fictionary is actually putting together a series, the top 10 steps to editing a novel. This is on March the 10th, 2022. It's free to register. All right. And I will tell you, I've been on Fictionary's webinars before. They are fantastic. They don't really try to upsell you on anything, or, you know, if even so, like, honestly, it's worth it. But I've never had that issue when I've tuned into some of their stuff. So go check it out. Christina Staley is just a fantastic person who has a great product. All right, heads up. If you're using MailerLite, they are going to be rolling out a new version of MailerLite. In fact, I think there's going to be some downtime coming up this Friday. You'll have to take a look at that. Let me see here. Does it say it inside the piece? No, but they're just trying to get it to where it's getting a bit of a facelift, and they're removing some of the barriers and friction that has been otherwise associated with it. This one came to my email inbox, and this is not necessarily my endorsement that I'm going to be sharing here, but more so just saying, hey, this tool is available. James Murdo is an author, a novelist, and has a book called Echoes of Gravity that's due out back June 29th last year. So it should be officially launched. And for some reason, I've got this put out of place here. There we go. Perfect. I was jumping ahead in the news. My apologies. A glossary generator. Now, this is what James actually had to say to me. Hope you're well. I've used a ton of your resources and work to help with my own over the years. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. Also wanted to see if you'd be happy to put a link to the glossary generator I made. And I said, yeah, of course we can do that. It's purely designed to help the writing community. And I've had loads of authors using it already, predominantly spreading the word via newsletter, Kboards, and Reddit. Like I said, it's free, so there aren't any strings attached. The link is below. So if you're looking to build out glossaries within your fiction work, what it does is it kind of automates some of this process and makes it so much easier for you. So if you're, you know, the next Frank Herbert and building out an epic, you know, novel series like Dune, then probably this glossary is going to work out for you. Let me know if you go ahead and give it a shot. I want to hear what your take is on that. Again, I don't fully endorse this. It's just me sharing with you what I have found so far. Speaking of, let's go further forward. And for some reason, my items in the news are all out of order. What the heck is going on? Get your life together, Dale. Audiofriendlies. All right, so this one actually comes from Audiofreebies.com. Now, Audiofreebies offers an avenue that you can be able to distribute your free promo codes to readers that are willing to go ahead and get those promo codes and leave a review. They recently rolled out Audiofriendlies.com. You could grow your own network of trusted reviewers. For non-exclusive titles, you can gain royalties of 70 to 95%. So it sounds like they act almost like a gumroad of audiobooks, including encouraging listeners to purchase via links, paying better royalties to authors and narrators. That's kind of cool. Run your own chirp-style promotions, create your own discount and free promo codes, get titles to market faster the same day you receive audio files if you wish, and search facilities so listeners find the books that they want with the links to purchase at multiple retailers. So Audiofriendlies.com. I'll keep you guys posted on this service. I'm probably going to give it a shot and see what I think about it. Okay, moving even further along forward. Now, this one comes as not a big surprise, but if you're not subscribed to this gentleman, his name is Brandon Sanderson. Very big, prolific author. He has about 340,000 subscribers, as you can see here on YouTube. And recently, he actually had a video that was #2 trending on all of YouTube. And let me see if I can find it here. He's had a few broadcasts since. It's Time to Come Clean. Go and watch that one. It's very insightful. He shares some of his experience over the past couple of years and how he was able to write some novels completely in secret. And this surprise came about. 4 secret novels by Brandon Sanderson. And here's the crazy thing. He put it on Kickstarter for his fans to invest in. His goal was only $1 million. Watch, as we're sitting here talking, there's even more people contributing. What the heck? $25 million so far raised. And he has 24 days to go. You know he hasn't reached all of his audience. So this just kind of goes to show that sometimes you can lean on your community. You don't always have to lean on different avenues like Amazon KDP and Smashwords or Drafted Digital. Sometimes you can just fulfill it yourself. Brandon obviously has a huge following. Okay, let's give him credit on that one. But I think that he probably underestimated how much he would actually get accomplished. $25 million. He looked over at Britney Spears and was like, watch me. And that's just absolutely amazing. I like seeing success stories like this. So big congrats over to Brandon. Maybe one of these times I can get him to tune into this podcast and have him come on as a guest, share some of his insights. Last but not least comes from the fine folks over at Lulu. If you are not subscribed to their channel, what you doing with your life? Good friend of mine, Chelsea Bennett's actually going to be the upcoming guest here on the interview segment on Friday. They are starting a new series about free e-commerce, your free e-commerce education, excuse me. This week, they actually did 10 mistakes you should avoid when getting started with e-commerce. Go over to their YouTube channel. It is so worth your time to go in and subscribe to them and take a look at the latest video when it comes to the 10 mistakes to avoid when starting your e-commerce, especially if you're planning on selling some of your print books. Wow, that was a lot of information, a lot of news. What did you think? Was there a particular piece of news that you liked most? Was there something that you felt like I might have overreacted to? Definitely love to hear